Good evening, boys and girls. It is time for another bedtime story with Miss Alonso. Tonight, I chose a book after being inspired by our amazing kindergarten team. They have been teaching about animals that you might find at the zoo. They usually go to the zoo on a field trip about this time of year, and the boys and girls learn information and facts about those animals. And as I've watched their videos where they're teaching about some of the animals that you may find at the zoo, I have learned a lot of new information that I had never heard before. So I had to choose a book that included animals because if you cannot tell, my family loves animals and we love going to the zoo. It is one of our most favorite things to do as a family because we all love animals so much. So I chose a book very similar to one you have probably heard of before called Brown Bear, What Do You See? But this book is not about a brown bear. No, this bear is black and white. It loves to eat bamboo. Miss Alonso used to have a reading hut that looked like it was made out of real bamboo that my boys and girls love to read inside of. Can you guess what kind of bear? It's the Panda Bear. So we're going to read the story, Panda Bear, What Do You See? And not many boys and girls have heard this story before, so I hope my first graders love it, and I hope all of you do as well. So tonight I will be reading Panda Bear, What Do You See? Panda Bear, what do you see? I see a bald eagle soaring by me. Look at this big, beautiful panda bear. He is so beautiful. I love panda bears. They are so fun to watch and they are playful. They seem like they would be pretty lazy, but they're pretty playful too. And he sees a bald eagle. Bald eagle, what do you see? I see a water buffalo charging at me. Look at this big, beautiful bald eagle. This represents the United States of America. And my boys and girls know that you might find the bald eagle on the back of a quarter as we've been learning about money and coins. And as we have identified the quarter, we look at the front and the back of each coin and we notice that most quarters have the bald eagle, which represents our country. And if you have ever been to Dollywood, you may have seen some bald eagles while you've been there on vacation with your family. Some of my boys and girls shared that. Water buffalo, what do you see? I see a spider monkey swinging by me. Look at this water buffalo. I would not want this charging at me. His horns look almost as big as my grouchy ladybug antennas. Not quite as big, I'm sure sharper, but they're pretty big. A spider monkey. My husband loves watching the spider monkeys at the zoo. They are so funny and very playful. Spider monkey, what do you see? I see a green sea turtle swimming by me. I remember seeing a sea turtle at the end of the story Mother Bruce, when after Bruce was being identified as the gosling's mother, then he finally just took them under his wings and in the wintertime would take them to Miami so that they could stay warm. When one of the sea turtles hatched from its egg and was headed to the ocean, it came across one of those goslings, which was then an adult, and called it Mama. So it was like it was starting all over again. So here's our sea turtle. I've seen some big tortoises at the zoo before. Green sea turtle, what do you see? I see a macaroni penguin strutting by me. Macaroni penguin, what a funny word. I'll show you what those look like. Look at this big sea turtle. It is so beautiful. I love watching sea turtles. Macaroni penguin, what do you see? I see a sea lion splashing by me. Now, a macaroni penguin is a penguin that has these yellow feathers on the top of its head. What I remember teaching Victoria so she would know the difference was the yellow feathers reminded me of macaroni noodles, which most boys and girls know what macaroni is. So that's how you know this is a macaroni penguin. Put those yellow feathers on the top of its head. My mom loves watching the penguins, especially when we go to the aquarium. They are one of her favorite animals to watch. Sea lion, what do you see? I see a red wolf sneaking by me. Look at this big, beautiful sea lion. We saw some sea lions when we were in Kentucky. While we were at Kentucky Kingdom, they had a big sea lion show and they did all sorts of tricks and they would give you kisses on your cheeks. It was so sweet. Red wolf, what do you see? I see a whooping crane flying by me. Oh, this makes me think of Little Red Riding Hood, the big bad wolf. There's the red wolf. Look at its sharp claws and its sharp teeth. I'm not so sure that's a nice wolf. I think that's a big bad wolf. Whooping crane, what do you see? I see a black panther strolling by me. Look at this whooping crane. It reminds me of the panda. It's black and white. The penguin also had black and white. Has a little bit of red on the top. Black panther, what do you see? I see a dreaming child watching over me. Black panthers are very pretty. Look at its eyes. It's silk black fur. And they have a very long tail too. Dreaming child, what do you see? I love this page because it reminds me of the Grouchy Ladybug. Remember at the very beginning and the end, the starry night and the moon? It had the full moon. Well, this sort of looks like the moon, and it even looks like the crescent moon here. And it's really the face of the child dreaming. I love that page. I wonder what the dreaming child sees. I see a panda bear, a spider monkey, a green sea turtle, a red wolf, a whooping crane, a bald eagle, a water buffalo, a macaroni penguin, a sea lion, and a black panther, all wild and free. That's what I see. The dreaming child sees all of these animals. The panda, the sea turtle, the spider monkey. My husband loves watching these. The whooping crane, the red wolf, bald eagle, water buffalo, the macaroni penguin. It's got the yellow feathers on top. The sea and the end. I really hope that you enjoyed this story tonight. I could not wait to read this to you after watching our kindergarten team. I noticed that Miss McNeese did a lesson about flamingos, so you have got to watch that lesson. I shared it on my page. I learned something very interesting about their legs. I knew a lot about what they ate, but I had no idea about their legs, and I learned quite a bit. And then Miss McCain had me tricked earlier. She posted a picture where you had to guess which animal, and she had it up real close like this. And at first, I thought it was a camel because it was really close. And I thought, oh, she's going to talk about the camels that are at the Chattanooga Zoo because Victoria loves to ride the camels when we go there. And I thought that was the animal, but it turned out when I watched her lesson, it was actually about giraffes. And I realized, wow, up close, those are very similar. So she tricked me, but I love giraffes. They are my favorite. If you cannot tell from the story where I read giraffes can't dance, and Miss Alonso, of course, dressed up as a giraffe for Halloween, I learned quite a bit about giraffes too, and they're my favorite animal, but Miss McCain taught me something new about them as well, so you have got to watch that video too. Victoria's all-time favorite animal when we go to the zoo has to be the red panda. If you know Victoria, you know she loves the red pandas. And that's usually one of the first things we go straight to once we get to the zoo, because if you catch them at the right time, they are so playful. They'll walk around and play and climb the trees and play with one another. So they're very fun to watch when they're active. And while we've been away, I know that the Nashville Zoo and several other zoos have posted videos of their animals and shared how they take care of them and some facts about them. We watched the Nashville Zoo behind the scenes yesterday as some of the vet techs were taking care of the animals. And we loved watching the video about the red pandas where they were feeding them. This is her all-time favorite. And one of my favorite memories where we took our first graders to the Chattanooga Zoo, we've been to Nashville and Chattanooga, but Victoria was in first grade, were the peacocks. I was so worried when we got there because the peacocks were just walking around everywhere. And I thought, oh no, they're out of their exhibit. They're not supposed to be just walking around, until I came across one of the zookeepers who then informed me, no, they won't leave the zoo. They can walk around freely. And the funniest memory I have is as my boys and girls and I were walking through the zoo, they had a photo booth set up where you could go in and take pictures. Well, where the pictures would come out at, a little peacock was pecking its head right there at the little tray where it would come out. And so it was pecking and it could see its reflection there, like it was waiting for its picture to come out. But it was so funny. We laughed so hard. And I love that they had the peacocks and the camels, because you don't see those at every kind of zoo. And then at Nashville Zoo, one of my favorite things is the kangaroos. I love when they're laying on the path and you can pet them. I think that is so neat that you get a hands-on experience, and the vet technicians or the zookeepers are there and they'll give you some information about the kangaroos, what they eat or how old they are, what their name is. And so I love every time we get to go through the kangaroo exhibit. Not only are the spider monkeys my husband's favorite, but he loves the white tigers. So if there are white tigers at the zoo that we're visiting, we have to go see them. They are very beautiful, I have to agree. They're the same color as the panda, and even the penguin, they have some similar colors, just different markings. And of course, the zebra. I love watching the zebras. They're black and white too. And I saw a video, I cannot remember which teacher it was, but they were doing a lesson over foxes, and one of the type of foxes they were teaching about were the phoenix foxes. And I remember when I taught 3rd and 4th grade teaching a lesson about the difference between the phoenix fox and the Arctic fox. And even though you hear fox in both of their names, they are different because of where they live. The phoenix fox lives in a very hot, dry area, which is why its color is the way it is, so it can camouflage, so it can hunt and also be protected. But one of my favorite facts is the reason why their ears are like this is because the sun will reflect off of its ears so that it can stay cool. And the Arctic fox is white because it's in the Arctic. It needs to blend in with the snow. And its ears are much shorter, and it's very furry, and it's to keep the cold air out of its ears. So their ears are very different. That's a difference between the two. And I loved teaching about those different types of foxes and where they lived, and the foxes that we see here sometimes in Tennessee. So I have really enjoyed learning about all the different animals. I cannot wait to see what else our amazing kindergarten team teaches us about the animals that you might find at the zoo. And I would love to hear from you. What is your favorite animal? It can be an animal that's at the zoo or an animal that you have. I've seen a lot of boys and girls sharing pictures of their pets and videos while they've been at home. But tell me, what is your favorite animal? And maybe tell me an interesting fact about that animal. It might be something I have never heard of before. I cannot wait to hear from you, and I really hope that you enjoyed tonight's bedtime story. I know my cat 7 was up here trying to get in the video. He is definitely one of our favorite animals. He's a big, sweet baby. I'm sure you've seen pictures of him too. But I love you, boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed tonight's story. My boys and girls, I am so proud of you. I cannot wait to hear what your favorite animal is. I hope everyone has sweet dreams, and like that little child that was dreaming, I hope that your dreams are sweet, and hopefully you'll dream of some animals tonight as you're getting ready for bed. I love you all. I cannot wait to read to you again tomorrow. Sweet dreams.